Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. It is New Year's Eve, and I have to say, I am ready for the new year. I am ready. I'm always excited the most because it's like I get to turn over a new page. I know many of you feel the same way. It's like the book gets to the next chapter, and I'm very excited, hoping ever so much for a year with more peace, more love, more acceptance, and more joy. So let's give it our best shot, shall we? I just got back. I'm alert now. I was kind of sleepy this morning. Neither G or I slept good last night. So this morning we decided we were going to take a brisk walk on top of Scouters Mountain, which is near us. And there'll be some beautiful photographs of a little bit of that walk. But it was freezing cold. My little fingers felt like, oh my gosh, they were like stiff little boards. They were so cold. So reflecting on back in 2024, I got a lot of stuff done, and yet at the same time I didn't. But that gives me more motivation for 2025. I had a friend come over, was supposed to come over for a stitchy day, and when we sat down, we each had stitching. We did have stitching. But the next thing I knew, she said, "It's 4 o'clock. I gotta go home." And I was like, we didn't even take one stitch. But it was a day filled with conversation, and I want more of that. I want more of that. Connections. We get busy and we lose track of time. I didn't get half of my Christmas cards out. And I have talked to several, because I've been making phone calls, mea culpa, but many people didn't get their Christmas cards out. There's some change in the cadence of society that we'll just see how that pans out. Anywho, we talked all day. I mean, literally all day. And I couldn't honestly tell you if we solved the world's problems, if we decided on any earth-shaking cross-stitch understanding. I have no idea. But all I know is I want more of that, because it was a comforting, full day. So that is my number one goal for 2025, is to actually be present in conversation with people. I think we learn so much from each other. But I don't know about you, but my busy brain, sometimes I don't hear the conversation for the busyness in my head. So that's one of my goals for this next year. I did get, as I showed you before, a book of days. And I was looking at my book of days from 2024, and I kind of fell off of the bandwagon at the end of November, December, as far as charting exactly what I was doing and my boxes. And I did have less stars, but you'd expect that would happen during the holiday months, because life just kind of gets busy. I did have some finishes, and I did have let's see, I had in December I had 2 FFOs and 3 finishes. So that, for December, that's pretty darn good. I think when I have, I like my stars. Of course, you will notice I will have G post at the beginning of the video. You'll have seen postings of 2 photographs, and one will be my dry erase board for 2024, and then the dry erase board for 2025, because I am changing my modus operandi. That's official language for we're ramping it up differently. So in 2024, I had started the year in January with 33 whips. And by the end of the year, now let me first, if you want to take notes, get a pencil and paper. At the beginning of 2024, I listed all the whips, and that is projects that had been started previous to 2024. So I had 33 of those. I'm just looking at my picture of my dry erase board. I had, in finishes, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Did you like listening to me count? I should have done it before I started the video. Oh well. 29 finishes in 2024. That's a pretty darn good number. And then as far as FFOs go, where I fully finished something, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 fully finished items. I had something like 50 starts, I'm not going to count those, in 2024. So what I see when I look at this is that the finishes and the FFOs were mostly done from the starts and not from the whip pile. Yeah. So here we are at 2025. So in 2025, my dry erase board is going to be different. It is filled with whips, and that is anything that was started before January 1st, 2025. And I have 48 whips. But I've changed the board, as you will see if you looked at that picture, is that the board now has the whips, finishes. I'm not listing starts because that's always out of control, I guess, and it takes up too much of the board. But finishes, and I have now a designated stitch. My designated stitch program has been, I wish I could patent that. It's been so successful to me that the designated stitch is a whip. It can't be a new start. You can do whatever you want. No one's the boss of you. But for me, the designated stitch has to come from the whip pile, because that's where I want to make I want to get it done. And so I just know that every evening I am stitching on that designated stitch until it's done. And this year's designated stitch is No Time Like the Present. It was a Modern Folk Embroidery SAL, 2024 SAL. And here it is. And they gave in the chart, PDF, they gave different colorways. It's a 2-color, it's basically a 2-color chart. Although some people did extraordinary things with it. So before it was languishing in the in a pile of whips, and since now is a designated stitch, I am making headway. So when I picked it up, I had only done this much here. So now I am all the way across. This is how wide it's going to be, and I'm coming across here. What I have found is that for each person that does stitching, you have to find out what works for you. It doesn't, I mean, it always looks like, how is that person getting all that done? Like, I asked Janine of Acorns and Threads, how does Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, get all that stuff done so fast? And she said, well, she's a two-handed stitcher. And I said, okay, I'm going to be a two-handed stitcher. I tried it, but my hands are never in agreement with each other. You're supposed to put the dominant hand on the underside, and no, there's always an argument and time wasted, and I realized that very seldom can I get a two-handed rhythm going because they do not agree. They do not agree who is in charge and who is the dominant one. But what has been working for me, and what I would suggest to you, is figure out what it is that works for you, and screw the rest of it. Whatever. Everybody's got their system that's going to work for them, doesn't mean that's going to be what's perfect for you. And I thought I was going to be using my iPad to keep track. Well, where I sit and stitch for the designated stitch, there's not really an adequate place for that iPad. And to me, it seems like double work, and I'm trying to stitch and watch television there. Yeah, it's, you got to figure out what speaks to you. And what worked for this was only doing the 10 grid segment. That's all I've been doing. And I have not gotten off count. I have been working methodically across. It's just 2 colors. It works for that chart. I'm really excited to get this one done because it is a gorgeous chart. And I like things that have a clock in them. I don't know why. So my book of days, I'm going to be doing that again. I haven't quite figured out exactly how I'm going to format it, but I'm going to take some things from the 2024 and work them into the 2025 book. Yeah. That walk was freezing, so I asked G to make me another cup of coffee. I also have my new calendar that Sandy sent me. We have a murder of crows and ravens around here. And so I've always loved this calendar. And it has things, it's by junehunter.com. And it has lots of things about crows and ravens. But on the actual calendar, it tells you when the full moon is and what kind of full moon it is, and I love that because I'm always looking for a reason to do something, and give me a reason and I'm all for it. So I found out that, and just so you know, because I'm doing the designated stitch and I have the whip pile, does not mean, and in fact was out of control with starts last year, does not mean that there aren't going to be starts this year. Yeah, it's going to happen. Because January 25th, 6 of the planets do a planetary alignment. And, I mean, I have to do a start. I'm all about the starts. if I have a reason to start, that even makes the start, my mouth is actually watering. It even makes the start more exciting when there's some reason for it. And so the planetary alignment is on January 25th, and I am going to start this. This is Tiny Modernist Moon Phases Bell Pull, and I've already got the fabric, and I bought this chart at a shop in Washington, although I can't remember the name of it. But I got it a 16 count chalkboard black Ada from Acorns and Threads, and then I have all of the threads. And it's interesting because these threads, and I bought it from the shop in Washington, are Sullivan's, which I've never seen or stitched with Sullivan's. So it'll be an adventure all the way around. Anyway, so if anybody wants to join in the planetary alignment stitch, it doesn't have to be this chart. It can be any chart you want. And I don't know if the hashtags work, but hashtagging it to Love My Stitch Sal. The reason you're going to want to join is because this time it's 6 planets. The next planetary alignment is 8 planets. And it is going to be on May 6th, 2492. So I have enough time to finish that one and to figure out what I want the next one to be for the planetary alignment. So that's May 6th, 2492. Yeah. The first full moon in 2025, as noted on my crow calendar, is the wolf moon on January 13th. So you could either try to find a wolf, something with a wolf on it, but I don't know if I have one, but I think I might have a werewolf someplace around here. So something to think about. Something to think about. Yeah. And on February 9th, just if you need more reasons to start stuff, because who knows how long we'll be on this planet, an asteroid passes the planet February 9th. So you might want to, think about that. Anywho, what have I been stitching? I have been working, here's my bag I made out of a grocery shopping bag that Margaret gave me. I made it into a project bag, and this was a sal that was with Tasha and Margaret, called the Jump Clump. It's so just so freaking cute. And I am almost to the point now where I'm going to do the spiders. Yeah. I love that little stitch. I love that little stitch. And the current sal that I am working on is with the Sunshine Stitchers, which I love. I love me some Sunshine Stitchers. And what did I do with the chart? Oh, there it is. It is Put a Bird on It. And you can jump on anytime you want with these sals. Janine at Acorns and Threads is doing it, and so is Sarah. And this is, you can choose any kinds of threads, any colorway. You don't have to do it exactly like this. The Sunshine Stitchers out of Florida have a chart on their Facebook group on how the chart is divided. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't mean I don't get to play. It just doesn't work for me because I cannot divide a motif in half. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'd have to have a large amount of chocolate, and yeah. So my division is totally different, and let's see, this goes like this. Yeah, so this is what I've done, and I'm using Oxide by Mrs. Sadie's Silk, and this is, I believe, yes it is, one of my favorite fabric dyers. And when you receive, when you order, now Acorns and Threads carries her fabric, but if you go directly to her site and she mails it to you, the presentation is like, what was that movie, that Christmas movie, you know, where, gosh, there's so many Christmas movies. And they're all blending together, and Christmas is over, so they go out of my mind. But in this particular movie, one of the characters is buying a necklace for someone in his office, not his wife. And Mr. Bean, the guy who plays Mr. Bean, is the guy behind the counter, and he's doing the presentation of packing, and the guy's wanting him to like do it really fast, but he's putting the piece of jewelry in this bag and a sprig of this and wrapping it with the ribbon and all of that. Yeah, I don't even know why I was talking about that. It had something to do with this, but I have no idea. Yeah. Anyway, I am using Mrs. Sadie's Silk. And it looks weird on here, but I am telling you, it is stitching up very interesting. And I'm glad that I was brave. I'm glad that I was brave and thought, yeah. And I got the idea from seeing Kimberly from Daisy Joe Stitches was using this, and it was like amazing, absolutely amazing. So I know last time I told you I was going to do a whip parade. Well, let me just tell you, 48 whips, there is no way. It would have gone on for 2 hours, and I am not a 2-hour floss tuber, not in the least. I can barely stand half an hour. And so I couldn't put myself through that. And although some of you would just turn it on and then go about your business and just listen, whatever, and only come over, because I know that's what I do, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So I've been having fun stitching out of this book. This book is like, this is like the cross-stitch Bible. I swear, I solemnly swear that I will be up to no good. Oh yeah. Vintage French needlework. 300 authentic cross-stitch patterns in here. And I've been doing some little things out of here. I got this at Acorns and Threads, and yeah, it is worth every penny. Every penny. Okay, so I'm looking here, looking here, looking here. We talked about that. We talked about that. Word of the year, since we are at New Year's. Last year's word of the year was contentment, and I get these pillows made by Michelle of the Woolen Willow, and I just love them. I just love having them. And it's because having the word in your creative space and you walk by and you see it, it kind of gives you a moment. It's kind of like when I wear my Breathe shirt and I'm starting to lose it. G will say, "What does your shirt say?" Oh yeah, Breathe. And he, in my stocking, he put this. Yeah, I look all put together, I know, but I am a freaking freak show sometimes. So, contentment. Yeah, that was a good one. This year's word, resilience. There have been so many bumps, as with all of you. Some bumps are huge. Some bumps rip at your heart and your soul. And in 2025, resilience. Good word. Little did I know how much I would need that word for 2025. Okay. So, back to the planetary alignment. I know you guys just want to know so much about that because it's going to affect your cross stitch. Because the alignment enhances the flow of cross stitch energy. I mean, cosmic energy. Did you know that? It's going to enhance the flow. So we need to think about what you want to do on that particular day. Yeah, what you want to do on the 25th when everything lines up. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to Sampler Symposium. I have slowly, from watching FlossTube, you know, I know many of you have said to me, "Oh, you're such an enabler," but I can be enabled, and I never thought samplers would be one of those things in my life. I like all kinds of cross stitch, but watching the Contented Stitcher, Jackie, and her relationship with her Bridget sampler, and then watching some other floss tubes where they were saying samplers were the only place where in a certain period of time where women could put their name on it. You know, their husbands owned them, they didn't own property, but a sampler, they could actually stitch their name, and it's like making it concrete, like you really existed and you were important. And all of that kind of has opened my heart up to samplers. And I have never really been a sampler person. So it's been kind of a little bit unnerving and a little bit exciting. So I'm very much, even though I went to Sampler Symposium last year, I remember, you know, you're having so much fun that it's not just about that. But this year I'm approaching it entirely differently. And I know I watch like Brenda and Laura, they love to talk samplers and Hands Across the Sea. I did finish my 56 count, Hands Across the Sea, and it's being framed as we speak. And that was, it was just a small one, but it was so exciting. I'm just very excited about the whole prospect. And I love that I can get it. I love it that even though I'm in my 7th decade, that I can still get excited about something. Yeah. It sounds weird, doesn't it? But anywho, I did have a finish. Beth, I didn't bring the pattern over here, but it was from the Jingle Ball. And it was Beth Twist, who is just a wonderful designer and a wonderful person. And I enjoy her charts, her stitching, and I've done quite a few of them. So I could honestly say I'm probably a fan. And lucky enough that I live close enough to her that I can attend the Stitchers group that she started, the Mountain Stitchers. And we are having on June 5th, June, oh my gosh, that was a total brain fart. Anyway, January 5th, we are having a whip exchange. And we did this last year too. And you take a whip that you no longer want, and you bring it there, and you leave a whip and take a whip, kind of thing. So it's a fun time. It is a fun time. So I'm looking, I've already picked my whip out that's going. And then I got this finished. This was from the Jingle Ball. Although the kit came with a different way of finishing it, I chose to finish it in a metal tart pan in a champagne color that Janine at Acorns and Threads has. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's so pretty. I'm not a professional finisher, and I am a wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of finisher. But all I did was I took the bottom of the tart pan and I drew a circle onto heavy duty, paper, cardboard. Cut that out. And then I took 4 or 5 layers of batting and cut those out in a circle. And then I cut my pattern, my stitched piece out about 1 inch bigger than that circle, which was the circle that was here. And I laced it. First I ran a running stitch around the edge because I had already zigzag stitched the edge of the circle because it's a circle cut and it would fray. So I ran a running stitch around my linen and pulled it tight around the batting and the cardboard, and then I laced it back and forth, and then I glued the sucker out of it in here. So I absolutely love the way it turned out. Yeah. So that's my last fully finished for the year. And then here, G and I love to give each other stocking stuffers at Christmas. And look at this little bee gnome, pottery bee gnome. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. Yeah. So 2025, I am really looking forward to more stitching, more, truly, this week when my friend came over and we literally spent the whole day talking about everything and nothing, and the time flew like that, and not one stitch was made by either of us. That's a gift. That is a gift. That's a gift. I know we all want to get together and actually stitch and make some progress on, but oh man, having time with your friends and stuff is just precious time right now. It was the one sunny day. It's supposed to start raining this afternoon, and so we went out and walked the mountain and took some photographs. It was freezing cold. But we took some photographs, and G will put a little slideshow together of that at the end. And I'm really looking forward to making some progress on, I did cleaning and organizing and figuring out where, I thought I had a ton more whips than I did, but it turned out I had a lot of kitted up things that hadn't been started. So I feel like, yeah, even though there's 40 some whips, I feel like it's manageable. And this will be one of my new starts for this year. And I just really, I mean, Teresa Koget's Santas are, you know, awesome. And I want to do that. I have a shelf with that I want to hang up next year for all my Santa pillows. So that's going to be really fun to figure out as we go along. So anyway, I've been talking. I hope this year is a good one, or a peaceful one, or a well one. And that we get to meet, that we spend time together, that there's cross-stitching involved, sharing of books and movies. I swear to you, I have been hooked on this program that my girlfriend turned me on to on Netflix called You Can't Ask That. And it's just 30-minute segments about different topics where they ask people who the topic is about questions that maybe aren't polite or shouldn't be asked, and they answer them. It has been an education and eye-opening, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So finding something enjoyable to watch, reading, the Dictionary of Lost Words, I am like, I'm forcing myself to take it a bite at a time, because it would be the kind of book where the world would stop spinning and all I would do is read it till it was done in a 24-hour period. But I'm trying to not be so reactionary, but to be intentional about several different paths in my life: reading, cross-stitching, quilting, conversations, trying to be resilient and intentional. So anyhow, I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a nice new year, and that our paths will cross, because I love you guys.